let me welcome you to my channel. Before we begin the video, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe and like this post. Just before the WrestleMania in Berlin Premium Lives event CM Punk posted a video of himself, Rhea Ripley, and Damian Priest backstage. Next up, Punk will square off against Drew McIntyre, playing a strap match as the Evil Twins will confront the Day of Judgment, Lucille Van Dam and Dominic Mysterio. In his Instagram post on a mixed tag team match, Pop Star's backstage footage depicting scenes involving Ripley and the Priest. In advance of the Berlin party's opening night, the Horror Twins' enmity with one another. SummerSlam marked the beginning of Judgment Day. Premiere live performance on the program. Ripley survived the treachery of Dominic Mysterio, assisted Liv Morgan in maintaining her women's world. Later that night, during the championship, Finn Balor turned on his previous tag team, clergyman Damian's partner, Balor's. As a result of interference, Gunther won World Heavyweights Priest Championship. Scott Fitzgerald foretold winner Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk the second time around in their Bashan, Washington, D.C. Drew is Freddie Prinze Jr.'s. When they meet, McIntyre will discuss CM Punk speech at the Bash in Berlin. On his podcast, Wrestling with Freddie, ex-WWE writer revealed that the trio that includes Punk and McIntyre may be planned for WrestleMania 41. He speculated that this could be Drew's pairing, and I'm wondering whether it could be Drew's once more, and the rationale behind my belief that I believe that, in due time, Punk will receive his. It might be against WrestleMania at the last minute. Drew, his health might be in shambles and he only requires a last one. Take another shot at him. Seize the apple, and perhaps Mania is as well. Far distant for that to occur. Yet you are asking yourself if he could. Drew, I've already told you this twice now. He had the ability to. It was Drew McIntyre who took home the initial confrontation between him and CM Punk. Who will win SummerSlam is an open question. Escapes Germany atop a wave of wind in the dimly illuminated vestibule of a covert WWE arena. Sophisticated, electric suspense pervaded the atmosphere as hallways that are typically teeming with people were strangely silent, with the exception of the sound of Rush in the tracks of a person we knew, while he led the charge from behind bars. CM Punk, even in the background, is at his best, and he was once again at home in the world. Although, for Punk, this wasn't your average evening. Already caused a stir upon his return to WWE, plunges the WWE fan base into the chaos that was about to come. Behind the scenes was an unexpected turn of events. Punk had always operated on an individual basis, who nobody else could have helped him create his mark. Then, just as he turned the corner, he emerged, facing two of WWE's best, interesting and captivating individuals, Rhea, Damian Priest, Ripley, and the camera, owned by Punk himself, caught the essence of the time. Skillfully, he shifted focus from his own powerful attention to the colossal figures standing before him. Ripley has an aura of darkness and foreboding, and clergymen radiating a sense of strategic danger lurked around every corner. Leaning on each other, they created quite an duo that is intimidating to look at, would cause others to pause and consider. After PP crossed their path, silence was broken with, "Pucker up, wow, have a peek at our team. Is WWE's future correct? Ripley, Rhea, and both of you, Damian Priest, are the talk of." Crossed arms, Ripley stood before the town, sharp, narrowed pupils as she weighed in. "And where do you stand, Punk? Are you hoping to establish alliances or enmities?" The sound was low, and Punk giggled. "Potentially harmful friends have never meant much to me. Rhea and her foes, quite a few of those have been." His attention turned to the Priest, upheld a composed but vigilant stance. "Keeping tabs on you as well. There's something distinct quality of yours that I have not yet seen for quite some time." The Priest stood up and raised an eyebrow inquisitively, wary of what. "Would you call that brutality?" Pun responded. He nearly whispered as he spoke. There's no use in being playful. Instead, you're here to assume leadership, and I acknowledge that. After exchanging looks, Ripley and the priest, unspoken dialogue flowing between them. No one could dispute that Punk's verbs, their shared goal was to become WWE's dominant force and establish their, leaving behind the most gruesome manner imaginable. Nonetheless, additional something. The Punk was on the verge of adjusted Punk when he draws the camera closer to him, leaning in the direction of Ripley. I've been where you are, priest. You know that. From the outcast to the rebel to the one who defies expectations and appears the place it led me, key occasions, titles, and more adversaries than I are able to tally. Ripley arched an eyebrow. Her gaze exhibited a hint of intrigue as she, so what are you trying to say? Here's the deal. Punk persisted, his voice steaming with level of seriousness required to achieve a genuine effect if you wish to be remembered for all time. In addition to any other pair you may require on a massive undertaking that would require, it's easy to ignore the priest's icy stare. His thoughts were already swirling around prospective outcomes and your current resources, a more pronounced mental smirk than just in time for WWE's Berlin Bash. You aspire to astound the world while all eyes are on you, your desired system for public display, whose priests are Damian and Rhea. Ripley, unbeatable, defeat the largest, the one you're looking for, refining her focus. Ripley mentally spins the wheels. Roman Reigns is a punk rocker, right? The chief of the tribe has decreed this, and he nodded gravely in agreement. Not for very long, if you decide to bring him along. Your submission will be due in Berlin, you being the most formidable adversary but you'll have to lend a hand to someone understands the game more than. Priest looked into Punk thoroughly, defeated his air of casualness, yet his gaze radiating determination. Suffice it to state that I am personally invested in Reigns' success. Expelled, and I am well versed in the art of took place. Ripley and the priest traded once more, this time accompanied by an intriguing blend of danger and caution. They, familiar with Punk's renown and his background in treachery, defiance, and revolt, yet they also understood that he would ensure that their likelihood of achievement would, leaning in closer, skyrocket. Punk, speech hardly audible over them. He was also captured by the camera's zoom, possessed the ability to transform anything, to attempt to change history despite the difficulty. You must fully commit without reservation. With a step, Ripley uncrossed her arms, proceeded until she was centimeters away from Rock. Her face betrayed her emotions. Decided that we will not be frightened by question whether Roman Reigns is intended to be hit. Afterwards, we will defeat him, but I doubt, only for a split second, that we believe you, Punk. A twinkle of satisfaction in his good eyes. Faith is for the feeble, but you, in order to achieve greatness, you must require my assistance, and we will ensure Berlin will never forget that fateful night. Rhea, Priest T, Ripley, and Damian descend. Chief of the tribe, the camera captured. Little smile from the priest. Quite unusual phrase that spoke a great deal about his frame of mind. He was prepared for battle, and so turned the tables on Ripley and that thug. Turned off the camera, the screen went black, and a trio stood silently, the air thick with anticipation, filled with excitement of a kind that precedes only the most momentous of occasions. Everything was on the line, and they all knew it. Were willing to take a huge chance in order to capture perch on the mountain as Punk strode by, departed, abandoning Ripley and the priest, and give some thought to what they should do next. Sure what the WWE party in Berlin was going to be about, as the setting for a once-in-a-lifetime event. In a showdown, CM Punk yanks strings. Who could have predicted how, to what extent, a WWE fanbase that it's wise to prepare ahead of time.